You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
Meet Neve, a feral rescue cat who taught her human that love really can conquer all, one cautious paw step at a time. This scrappy little survivor spent the first year of her life completely alone on the streets. No mother, no colony of cats to call family, just a small kitty hunting for food and sleeping wherever she could find shelter. For months, she lived by one simple rule: humans equal danger. But sometimes, the universe has other plans. Sarah, a therapist with a heart bigger than her common sense, first spotted Neve as a kitten darting around the park across from her house. But Neve was so skittish that getting within 10 feet felt like a victory. For months, Sarah watched from a distance as this beautiful cat struggled to survive entirely on her own. Then something shifted. Neve started sleeping on a chair in Sarah's backyard. She even followed Sarah down an entire city block, maintaining the distance but clearly curious about this human who kept showing up with food. That's when Sarah knew it was time to take action. She set up a live trap, and after careful planning, it worked. Within hours, Neve was on her way to the vet to be spayed, and then to what would become her forever home, though neither of them knew that yet. Sarah named her Neve, meaning snow in Portuguese, for her beautiful white fur. But as Sarah jokes, it quickly became short for Never Touch Me, because this cat made it crystal clear that physical contact was absolutely off the table. The first few days were rough. Neve lived in a crate in Sarah's spare room, venturing out only when she was sure no humans were around. She hissed at everything. Remember, this cat had never encountered light switches, indoor plumbing, or the terrifying sound of a vacuum cleaner. Every modern convenience was a potential threat. But slowly, things began to change. On day 3, Sarah brought in the outdoor chair Neve used to sleep on. Neve approached it cautiously, sniffed it thoroughly, then curled up like it had always been hers. However, Sarah learned that progress doesn't move in straight lines. Days 4 and 5 brought regression. When she removed Neve's sturdy blanket, Neve retreated, became more skittish, and seemed to lose all the ground they'd gained. Sarah realized that the idea of washing the blanket that smelled familiar was a mistake. She got the blanket back, but the damage was already done. Drawing on her experience as a therapist, she understood that healing trauma, whether in humans or cats, is never a linear process. The most important thing was not to give up. By the end of the day, Neve was playing under the chair while Sarah was sitting quite close to her, and even showed interest in playing with Sarah. Soon, something truly magical happened. Neve emerged from her hiding spot, approached Sarah, and for the first time ever, sniffed her hand. It was day 7, and Sarah knew they were onto something special. On day 8, another major breakthrough came. After weeks of careful patience, Neve made physical contact. Not a swat or a defensive move, but actual, intentional touch. Sarah describes the moment as better than a perfect first kiss. The pure satisfaction of knowing Neve chose connection over self-protection. Why would a cat who had learned that humans meant danger suddenly choose to reach out? Sarah believes it's because our craving for love and connection runs deeper than our instinct for self-preservation. Even trauma, she realized, cannot completely erase her fundamental need to love and be loved. Neve's transformation was remarkable to witness. This cat, who had never been touched and who darted away at the first sign of human movement, was suddenly purring and showing interest in playing and cuddling. Sarah desperately wanted to cuddle with this amazing kitty, but she stayed patient and didn't apply any pressure. She watched Neve's miraculous transformation, letting her set the pace and waiting eagerly for new milestones. Sarah often reflects on Neve's attachment style, noticing how it mirrors what therapists see in humans who've experienced trauma. Neve pushes and pulls. She wants closeness, but it scares her. She'll make incredible progress, then retreat the next day. It's the dance of healing. By day 19, Neve started showing signs of becoming a cuddle buddy. She was actively seeking her human mom out, circling her, even eating from her hand. But the nervous system that had kept her alive on the street still whispered that touch meant danger. Until it didn't. The first real pet was tentative, brief, but monumental. Here was a cat choosing vulnerability over survival instincts, choosing to trust despite every reason not to. For Sarah, it felt like watching a miracle unfold in slow motion. 3 weeks in, Neve was cuddling, not just tolerating touch, but actively seeking it out. She'd gone from completely feral to remarkably open to love, a journey that takes many cat months or even years to complete. The vet visit was the ultimate test. After weeks of building trust, would Neve forgive what might feel like the ultimate betrayal? The answer came in her resilience, her ability to bounce back, to continue choosing connection over fear. By the night that day, this brave cat stopped hiding and came out to play with her toys. Sarah describes the relationship like the children's book, The Runaway Bunny. No matter how many times Neve swats, hisses, or hides, Sarah will always run after her. Because Neve is her little kitty, always and forever. The name Neve, once short for Never Touch Me, now means never say never. This cat, who spent a year alone on the streets, who knew humans only as threats, has become living proof that with patience, understanding, and unconditional love, even the most wounded hearts can learn to trust again. Neve's story reminds us that her capacity for love is stronger than her instinct for self-protection. In a world that often moves too fast, that demands instant gratification and immediate results, Neve and Sarah show us the sacred beauty of slow progress, of trust earned one gentle moment at a time.
I love you, Neve girl. Oh yes, I do. I